Hello and welcome back to Berserker, and we're just trying to take Takor Castle right here. Obviously I am pretty low in terms of my... I was very much hoping to do this before they were offering this, but I guess we can go for it, right? I guess we can decline and then just go for the full elimination of the Sturgians. The main reason why I want to do that is so that we don't have to continually worry about anything. But of course, as I said before, the Battanians have instigated an alliance potentially, and that is going to be difficult to deal with if they decide to declare war. Going to decline, and I'm going to wait until I'm at about 60 or so percent HP. Bear in mind that that is really not very much, but unfortunately my money situation is a bit of a problem at the moment. I know that seems kind of... It seems kind of hilarious, really, that I have money problems when I have so much roguery skill, and after I've just said, you know, a number of episodes ago, I said that roguery skill is probably the most powerful for making money, well, with the exception of smithing, obviously. But now, that's the point. Yeah, it is, but if you don't have, what, 10 fiefs with full garrisons or something like that, then yes, then it would probably be pretty good. And it is still good, don't get me wrong, it is still fantastic, it's just unable to keep up, shall we say. It's just unable to keep up. I need to go to a couple of marketplaces along the way, because what I'm going to do after this, after I take Takor Castle, we're going to head on to the final... Oh, that guy's throwing a rock at me, how dare you. Anyway, we're going to go on to the final Sturgian fiefs, and we're going to see what I can do there, because I would very much like, if at all possible, to take the last remaining ones that they have. Hey, what you doing? Hey, you're pushing away my ladders. That is not very nice of you, sir. Oh well, never mind. It is to be expected, of course. And now we just got the final charge against the enemy archers. It seems like they're putting up a pretty decent fight here. Obviously, they're putting up more of a decent fight because I managed to hit someone with one of my own javelins, one of my own troops, that is. So that's not particularly good, but I was actually very much trying to get to 275 in throwing, because if I get 275 in throwing, we're going to do so much damage with these throwing weapons. We are going to do so much. It's just going to literally murder anyone in one hit every single time. And yeah, sure, we're still able to do that kind of right now, but that is just going to increase its viability and increase its efficiency across the board, which I'm very much hoping to do. Can I kill them? Can I survive? That is the thought process of a person not particularly skilled in this situation. There we go. Not too bad. there's a lot of them that have escaped so far. That's kind of disappointing. Oh well, never mind. As I say, the auto-resolve will take care of that without too many difficulties. And we're just going to speed up the remaining siege time, because I think we've got this in the bag. There we go. Very nice indeed. We did end up losing quite a few units, but bear in mind that obviously every single time we go into a battle now, if I have an army set up exactly like this, we are pretty much always going to sustain some kind of significant loss, because every single one of my units is a good unit. And that's obviously a bit more impactful than just losing some random, you know, tier 2, tier 3 unit. They're all tier 6 or tier 5. And that can be kind of harsh, you know? That can be kind of harsh. Anyway, I don't have anything to really do here. I didn't know there was actually a keybind to Takor. That's hilarious. You can literally just press A and then you get all the loot. That's actually kind of amazing. I'm not going to claim this. I'm just going to let that go to the vote once again. And that is exactly what I will be doing most of the time now. And I think what I might try to do, I don't think it's going to be possible in this particular campaign, but what I would have loved to do is gain the trade perk, everything has a price, because it would have been so wonderful. I mean, I know I can still do this, yeah, but I kind of thought that maybe it would be cool to have a bit of a bargaining chip, if you know what I mean. So basically what I wanted to do was go to a particular vassal, say, hey, why don't you join me? And then I can actually give them a fief in place of money. And they will be much more likely to join me as a result of that. And that would be exceptional. That would be so fun to do. And it would give us so many more options in terms of our strategy and, you know, everything like that. So it would really make a huge difference. But unfortunately, it's too late in the game for me to do that. I mean, generally I could do it, but I don't have the mods that would support leveling up trade skill that easily. And it would take way too much time investment for me to do that right now, at least in my opinion. Generally, what I recommend is if you're going to be playing a trader, that you get the caravan trade experience fix. Because at the moment, I mean, I'm not entirely sure if they fix this in the base game. Should we try, actually? You know what? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go, just for hilarity's sake. Just for the science, shall we say. Just for the science, what I'm going to do is I will, after I've sold all of my stuff, and I'm not entirely sure why I have to literally just click for the entire time. I really wish, again, that they would give me some kind of estimate to the amount of loot that I have in my inventory, because then I wouldn't have to click through all of these. It seems like they have enough, so I'm just going to click on this. There we go. Yeah, they easily have enough. All right, so we're just going to go into the tavern real fast, and I'm just going to pick someone that has a decent name or decent stats or something like that. What about this guy? This guy's the lucky. Kind of makes sense, right? Yeah, we want him to be as lucky as possible, and then I can make a joke about him not being lucky if he gets himself killed. So that's what we'll do. All right, so basically, what I want to do now is I want to form a caravan, all right? So we're going to form a caravan, and I'm going to include it with better troops. So we're going to go for that, and we're going to make Tatik the Lucky the leader of that caravan. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see whether my trade skill increases. Obviously, it's at 14 right now, which is basically impossible for me to get all the way to... Wow, I actually need 300. Yeah, that's going to be... I think it's going to be impossible. But this is what it says on how to level it up. Make profit from trading, operate caravans. That's what it says on how to level up trading. In previous versions, I don't know whether they fixed this, as I say, but in previous versions, you were not able to use caravans to gain trade experience. You would have to do it all manually with your own trades, and it would be very time-consuming and very tedious, and it would be very difficult to get that working. But if you have the caravan trade experience mod that fixes the gain on that, then you have a much easier time. And while it still takes a long time, just bear that in mind, it still takes a massive amount of time, it is much more doable than without. So I'm very much hoping that the developers have fixed the ability to gain profit from that. I think it would be wonderful if they have. If they haven't, then so be it, and we're just going to have to roll with it. Alright, we're just going to take a couple of units here, just because, and we can level them up as well. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to Remtoil Castle. This is not exactly where I want to go, to be honest. I feel like going over here is such a huge detour that I think it's a bit too much. I think the detour that we're taking is a bit... What? I need to resolve this? Oh. I thought they were going to just vote. Okay, apparently they're not voting and we have to resolve it. Okay, so we already gave Lak Sibir and Mekalovia Castle. Farzana has Balgard, Thorios Castle, and Ov Castle. And this guy has just 2 castles. So I'm going to give it to this guy. And hopefully he's going to do a good job with it. But I realize he only has castles, which is not great. But yeah. Anyway, as I was saying actually about my my rant, should we call it a rant? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not being that aggressive about it, but whatever the case, what I was talking about before is that if I had everything as a price, I could, you know, get vassals to join me, and then I would be able to give away a lot of my fiefs. Because I personally don't want these fiefs anymore, because they are draining me dry of all of my money, and it is very, very difficult to maintain them. And it's kind of strange, really, because you look at, for example, if you look at Epicrotia, I can't mouse over it at the moment, so you're going to have to look through the list if you want to see that. But Epicrotia is currently making almost 2,000 gold every single day. And unfortunately, I can't tell how much the party wages are. I mean, maybe if I go to fiefs, maybe I can tell through here. There's Epicrotia. Okay, so yeah, this does not tell me anything. This does not give me any breakdown of how much it is actually costing me to run the garrison there. But as you can no doubt tell, there's 350 in the garrison there, and many of the units there are pretty high tier, so obviously there's going to be a big expenditure as a result of that. And that's the reason why I was saying that it would be cool if I had everything as a price, because then I could, you know, trade it off to someone, and then they would be very happy with that, and then they would join us, and then we would be very happy and live happily ever after. You know, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about right there. Now, generally, I can do the same thing, where I can indeed give them a fief. I can definitely give them a fief, but they need to join my faction first. That was the only reason why I was mentioning everything as a price, because then it actually has an impact on whether that person joins or not. Whereas, you know, the normal way of doing things, it has no impact beforehand, before they actually end up joining. So there's a bit of a difficulty to take into account. But yeah, well, maybe it's going to be okay. Maybe it's going to be okay. Maybe I'll be able to do a reasonable job trying to attract someone else. I need to speak to some of the Sturgians while I still have the opportunity to do so, while they still have decent relation with me and all that stuff. I mean, I think they're going to continue to have good relation with me, but I think it would be good to try and persuade an enemy to join me rather than a friendly, because generally I might not even need to besiege this castle, to be honest. I might be able to persuade whoever owns it to join me, but I'm thinking that it's probably going to be the leader. I think it would probably be the leader, Raganvad himself, so it's probably going to be unlikely that he would be wanting to give up his fief. I mean, obviously he would not do that in general. So there's obviously that to bear in mind. Oh, this Falksman is very damaging. Yeah, I've got to be a bit careful of these guys. Well, looks like that is it, and I'm just gonna fast forward for the last couple of enemies, and now we are done. And we don't even have to go into the keep either, so I'm very, very pleased about that. Now, I'm gonna check for the last one, alright? I'm gonna check for the last one what is currently going on there in terms of who owns it, and we're gonna see what happens, because I might be able to persuade the last vassal to join us. So who, wait a minute, where is it? There it is. Kallias Castle. Okay, it's gonna be Ragnvad, isn't it? I mean, you basically have to think that it's him. No, it's not. It's Oleg. But I can't send a messenger to him. Alright. I don't know why. Don't know why I can't send him a messenger, but okay. Maybe he's... Wait, is he in prison? He might actually be in prison. If he's in prison, then that is obviously wrong, and I need to let him go. I actually wonder whether I can let him go. Should I just accept this? If I accept this, then we're not going to be able to eliminate the Sturgians. But we are going to then be able to speak to people and then gain their strength. Let's do it. Okay, so let's have a look and see who we actually had. Yeah, we had huge amounts of people taken prisoner. Look at this. Oh, what? We had literally, what, 20 vassals or something? No wonder they put up no resistance whatsoever. They were literally... Oh, we're declaring war on the Battanians, apparently. We want to declare war on the Battanians. Okay, I guess we will do that. Let's give this to Lek, I suppose. I don't even know why I'm on the ticket, to be honest. Why am I on the ticket? Don't give me anything more, thank you very much. Okay. Declare war on the Battanians. Everyone wants to do that. I mean, you can quite clearly tell why that is, because we have 13,600 combat strength. Right now, we are stronger than the Battanians. We should strike while we can. Well, you are not wrong, Mr. Yorig. You are not wrong. Let's do it. This is very ballsy. I feel like this is a bit too stubbornly courageous, shall we say? I don't know. It's a bit too quick for my liking. I would have preferred to have just sort of relaxed a little bit of time. But if my vassals want to do it, who am I to say no, right? Who am I to say no? Anyway, we just got unstoppable force, so we now have even more projectile speed and damage for our thrown weapons. Very nice to see that. I'm gonna take Mazhadan Castle right here. Who's that? Lek? Mr. Lek, join me. Join me, sir. Oh yeah, look at that. You're not even in an army yet. Fantastic. Okay, so I want him to join me in just a second, so there we are. We now have 480. Yes, we're looking good. We are looking very, very good. Actually, someone asked me why I don't have huge amounts of people in my army at the moment. Okay, the one reason, and the most important reason, is that I actually really like seeing what the AI decides to do by themselves. And we are okay, you know, we're doing all right by ourselves as well. We are not really requiring their assistance to be able to besiege things, and we're kind of, you know, we're kind of just relaxing. You know, we're not really going super hard or anything like that, and we are not having too many difficulties taking these castles. I can certainly imagine that we're going to have some difficulties with the Battanians' towns. The Battanians' towns are going to be difficult, in my opinion. Let me just jump over these guys. There we go. And, yeah, so Battanian towns are going to be difficult, mainly because they have these wonderful, wonderful archers known as Battanian Fian champions, and we really do want to be very scared of them. And they have taken a very long time to sort of build up their forces, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are going to have an overwhelming amount of those guys. As you see right there, there's a Battanian Fian champion right there. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a massive amount of them in the upcoming fiefs that we are going to try and take. I'm going pretty deep in the enemy territory here. I'm not entirely sure if I should do that, really. Ah, too many escaped. Oh well, never mind. I tried my best, but as you can see, they kind of fooled me a little bit right there, because they literally went from one side, or at least one of them went from one side, and then the remaining forces that wanted to escape to the keep, they fell in behind me in my blind spot, so I couldn't even see them. That was really clever of them, actually. I don't know whether they did that on purpose, of course, but I feel like, you know, if they did do that on purpose, then that's very, very clever of them. Anyway, there we go. We are able to capture a lot of prisoners, and bear in mind that I should really remember to actually sell these prisoners before I head on to the next siege, because at the moment I am forgetting to do that. So, okay, so Mazhadan Castle has obviously been taken. Utherlime Castle is going to be coming up next, and I have to be a little bit careful about where I go now as well. I should probably go to Epicrotia, shouldn't I? Is that closer? Not entirely sure on that, but whatever the case, we do have Farzana's army over here as well. I'm going to recruit some new people too, and we're just going to sell all of this. Yeah, look at that. We can sell all of that very easily. We can sell all of that very easily. And I mean, you can see, look, I mean, just literally, I have 484 of these splintered short militia spears. I should probably sell a bunch, shouldn't I? Let me actually just use this instead. I can sell all of it. Okay, yes, let's do that. There we go. There's another 60,000. That's pretty good. Let's go into the garrison here, because I'd like to get out some more berserkers if at all possible. Let's just try and top up our units. And we might as well put a bunch of low-tier units in here, have them level up, and then we'll pull them out at a later point, and hopefully they'll do a decent job for us. Anyway, the Battanians are our new opponent, and I will go to Utherlame Castle right now. And then we will move up, and we will go to Sionon itself. That is one of their more adequate fiefs, shall we say. And there is an army here that is wanting to besiege Remtoil Castle. Okay, so Battanians, they are kind of difficult to deal with. Do they have a lot of... Yeah, they do. They have 17 Battanian Fian champions. That's not that much. And I think we should be alright with dealing with them. But I'm not entirely sure. Okay. I didn't sell my prisoners. I am an imbecile. I am an absolute imbecile right here. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I am going to select javelins for my berserkers, but I'm going to leave the axes on the other guys, alright? Because the reason for that is because I want them to have a little bit more, shall we say, a little bit more longevity in these fights. So, for example, when they are using the throwing axes, they are not really staying around long enough with their ranged attacks. They are just kind of running out way too quickly. So that's the reason why I'm kind of trying to split them now. So we have the berserkers using the javelins, and we have the noble super bears using the axes. And I think that's probably going to be pretty good for us. Anyway, let's take a look at this guy. I think we could probably take him on, but I'm just going to take the castle for the moment. Oh, is he actually going to try and... There's Farzana's army. You're not going to win, sir. I mean, he's going to win against Farzana by herself, of course, but that is only because she is outnumbered and outmatched. But there you go. All right. Well, let's go in here and see what's going on, because I would like to take this, and then I'd like to move on to Sionon if at all possible. I mean, generally, I think we will have a hard time taking some of these fiefs dependent on their composition, because obviously, as I've said, Fian champions, they know what's up. They can do so much damage very, very quickly, and they are not going to let up. They have so many arrows, it is very difficult for us to deal with them. But it seems to me like we might... Oh, okay, this might be problematic. I think I'm going to die. I'm actually going to jump out. That was a surefire death on my part. Because, you know why? I couldn't jump up. Yeah, that's because the Battanians do not use stone on their battlements. So they actually use wood, as you can see right here. They're using wood. and it is not as easy for me to use the sort of like jetpack effect. How is this guy dealing damage to me? Are you serious, sir? See, now this is exactly what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. Okay, I'm controlling a Berserker right now. Okay. Is it? Wait a minute. This isn't a Berserker. This is Lek. Are you serious? I'm literally taking control of Lek right now? That is... You know what? I should literally just leave him alone. I really should not bother him at the moment. I'm gonna... Should I retreat, actually? I'm gonna zoom, and then we're gonna see what happens. Yeah. I'm gonna retreat. This is awful. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is the exact reason why I was being very, very wary of the Battanians declaring war, and why I was also being extremely careful and cautious about even declaring war against the Battanians to begin with, because now we have this situation once again. Because I don't know whether you realize or whether you've remembered that, if you've seen those series previously, the Battanians and their fiefs are very, very difficult to take. I don't know whether that's just me. Probably is. But generally, I have a very difficult time with dealing with them. And that is with pretty much any kind of army. That is with any kind of army. Maybe apart from archers, potentially. Because archers obviously stay back and they just do as much damage as they can to the defenders. And then, you know, they move on from there. But yeah, generally, it is very difficult to work with them indeed. Okay, so yeah, I'm now below 1 million, so I had to sort of rectify that situation, and I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. Anyway, it seems like someone is besieging Maranath right now. Remtoil Castle, if that does get taken, then, well, so be it. And maybe we'll see if we can take Utherlame Castle at another time. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.